So I'm sure that many of you are probably thinking, no, 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 no. Okay? That there's a big difference between jumping in a pool and saving a child that you can wrap your arms around, that you can save, that you can see, that you can hand back to the mother, the inattentive mother or father for that matter, right? But there's something very different about kind of rescuing a child in that capacity than writing a check or plugging in your credit card number and sending $100 to a family relief organization, right? And Wellman recognizes that, and he says, at this point, one might object that there's a huge difference between saving a drowning child in your immediate presence and sending money to help anonymous foreign children who are starving in some unfamiliar place 1,000 miles away. Wellman says, I acknowledge that these two scenarios are likely to feel different, but he suggests there's no morally relevant difference between them. In other words, whatever the effect of the difference in nationality, physical distance, or the use of mediating devices might make us in motivating us to rescue someone, the moral relations between you and the starving distant foreigner are the same as the drowning infant. Okay? So he's going to work through a couple of these scenarios. Essentially, this first paragraph here, I mean, if I'm sitting there at the pool and I'm an American, from the United States of America, and the baby that falls in is Ethiopian, right? I am not going to say, nope, can't save that kid. That kid's an Ethiopian. Nope, nationalities are different. Not my problem, right? No, that would again kind of strike us as completely reprehensible. It doesn't matter the nationality of the child that's falling into the pool, right? You have a moral obligation to save that child if it's at no unreasonable cost to yourself, right? It doesn't matter what nationality, okay? And similarly here, Wellman brings up the fact that, if for some reason, let's say the pool, the building was on the border, if there's no wall, right? If there's no wall, the hotel and casino is on the border of the United States and Mexico. And let's say you're sitting on the United States side and you see the child fall on the Mexico side and you say, nope, not my responsibility, that's in Mexico, right? Again, that would be pretty reprehensible, okay? So, again, we can't say that just because we have a different nationality than the child falling into the pool, right? We can't use nationality as a grounds to not save the child. Similarly, when we see children on a screen that are impoverished, when we see children that are across the globe, we can't say, that Ethiopian government, they just need to take care of their own, right? No, Wellman is claiming. Ultimately, nationality and national location makes no difference. Okay? Now, I want to jump down here to the bottom of 315 because, again, I think that this is most kind of readily connected to probably our capacity here to what we're talking about. Where Wellman makes the claim where he says, it makes no moral difference whether one's rescue is mediated by devices or other people. Imagine, for instance, that after spending a couple of hours at your hotel room, at the pool, you decide to go back to your hotel room by the Hard Rock pool. You decide you'd better return because you were getting sunburned. It's a little creepy, but let's just see where he's going. Fortunately, the hotel has closed-circuit television coverage of the pool, so you can continue to check out the lively scene from the comfort of your air-conditioned room. While watching on your television, you notice the infant fall in the pool. Because you're staying on the 30th floor and there's no way you could make it down to the pool in time to save her yourself, but without getting out of your chair, however, you could pick up your cell phone and call the bartender at the poolside bar who, once alerted, could easily rescue the infant herself. It seems to me, Wellman writes, that you are just as obligated to make that call as you would be to dive into the pool yourself. It makes no difference, in other words, whether one can personally rescue the drowning child all on one's own or whether one can merely play a part in the rescue by calling others who, once informed, can complete the rescue. Okay? So again here, right? Wellman's trying to dismiss the fact of something being in one's immediate presence and something being so far away. that there are still a lot of overlap and similarities. And if we are at all moved by the initial poolside rescue situation to help that child, we should also be moved to help starving distant foreigners, whether that's from famine, whether that's from disease, whether that's from natural resource not natural pardon me, natural disaster. Okay, so the connection here. If we have a duty to jump in the pool and save the infant, and we have a duty to make a relatively expensive cell phone call to the poolside bar, then why do we not equally have a duty to use our cell phone to make a modest donation, say $100, to the institution of our choice to help starving children? If 1, the fact that the children are citizens of a different country is irrelevant, 2, physical distance between you and them makes no difference, and 3, if the loss of the margarita and the damage of the book, around $100 is not an unreasonable sacrifice, and 4, the use of mediating devices like cell phone, credit cards, international relief organizations is not important, then it is hard to conclude that one's moral duty to send money to famine relief is just as strong as one's duty to jump in the pool and save the drowning child. Okay? So we'll pick up in the next video to try to round this out. And I'm sure that some of you are getting frustrated, be like, this doesn't make sense, this isn't right. But I think that's where Wellman is kind of insightful and kind of challenging here. Is maybe the discomfort is coming from the fact that this is a fairly powerful insight here.